Welcome to the Usha Janome Digitizer Junior software. It will help you create incredible designs with just a few clicks. The box contains a DVD for installing the software in a Windows-based computer. Just load the DVD in the DVD drive. The User Account Control dialog box will automatically appear on the screen. Select Yes for Install Script Setup Launcher. A new dialog box, Setup Type, will appear. You can choose between Complete and Custom Installation. Complete installation is recommended. Once chosen, select Next. The software gets installed in English by default. Extra languages will then appear. You may choose extra languages from here if required, and then select Next. Digitizer Junior will then get installed in your computer. To complete the installation, the computer has to be restarted. You may choose the Restart Computer key and select Finish. Once the computer restarts, a new dialog box will appear for registering and activating the product. You will be required to fill the product key, as mentioned on the inside flap of Digitizer Junior box. Other details as required has to be filled up. Once through, select the OK key. You will see that it presents an easy-to-use interface, no matter what your level of expertise is in embroidery, design, or digital software. All you need is a little learning and your creativity at hand. We have divided this video into Know Your Digitizer, followed by 6 modules, and 2 workshops to help you use the Digitizer Junior software effectively. Know Your Digitizer takes you through the key tools followed by modules on basic use of the software: monogramming, custom embroidery, making line stitches, duplicate with an offset, and layout making mirror to corners. While the 2 workshops dwell on making applique and editing an existing design, let's begin with getting to know the tools at your disposal. Every icon is clearly labeled on the top toolbar to help you understand their functions, while the left toolbar opens up to display various tools, also clearly labeled for ease of use. We will take you through the various tools briefly in this session. Click on Customize Design on the left toolbar to view the tools under it. The Design Information icon lets us know the complete information about the design. How many stitches, color changes required, fabric type, required stabilizers, etc. This tool is further explained in Module 1, later in the video. The Background Color and Display feature helps you to change the background colors on the screen of the software. Auto Fabric feature helps in selecting the fabric on which the embroidery will be made. The stitch density for different fabrics varies. This software automatically defines the required stitch density and also advises the topping or backing to be used depending on the fabric being selected. The software changes the settings automatically as per the fabric selected. Adjust stitch spacing. This tool lets you change the stitch density in the design. Change design color. This tool lets you change the colors in the design. Insert design lets you import embroidery design stored in your computer. When this key is selected, a browsing window will open. Thereon, you can select the desired design from your computer. The lettering tool will open up and an object box appears, where you can enter the text in the space provided to add to your design. You can use different fonts and font size to type your text. The monogramming tool lets you add 2 to 3 letter monograms. Alphabets in different fonts can be selected and then they can be arranged as per different presets available. We will show you both these tools at work in Module 2 of this video. Under Artwork, Insert Artwork lets you import artwork, images from your computer. Once the icon is selected, a browsing window will open from where you can select images stored in your computer. Module 3 of this video will take you through the process. Prepare artwork for embroidery helps you to clean your selected images for making good embroidery designs. Normally, a digital image contains large numbers of colors or multiple shades of a single color. This tool will help you reduce the number of colors to an optimal number. The color reduction can be done automatically and manually. Module 3 of this video will take you through the process. Save artwork, as its name suggests, is for saving your image. Dim artwork is for making the artwork dim so that the stitches can be seen clearly. Unlock for unlocking locked images. The auto-digitizing embroidery feature digitizes an image automatically on selecting the icon. Insert artwork for importing images from your computer. Since the quality of embroidery depends on the image quality inserted, it is recommended that vector images should be used. Click to fill allows you to select individual objects one at a time for better digitizing. Click to fill without hole digitizes the selected object, ignoring any hole. Another object inside the selected object. Both the click tools are explained further in Module 3. Click to center line lets you select the center line of each object in the design. Watch Module 4 for more details. Under Edit Objects, Object Properties is an important tool which helps in editing the fill type, that is, weave, satin, embossed, monogramming styling, different types of line stitch, and also adding or removing the underlay. Adjust stitch spacing lets you change the stitch density. Resequence manually. The embroidery objects in a design form a stitching sequence. Initially, objects are stitched in the order in which they were created. We can change the position of a selected object by using the Resequence docker. As a general rule, it is important to establish the stitching order so that the objects in the foreground are sewn after those in the background. If you combine designs or design elements, you will also want to ensure that similar colors are sewn together. Resequence by selected order is another important tool to sequence objects by order of selection, simply by selecting the embroidery objects one after the other. The first tool under Layout is to insert design, which lets you insert another embroidery design into the current design. Here, design palettes get merged. Use duplicate to create a copy of a selected object in the same position. The duplicate is placed at the end of the stitching sequence. While duplicate with an offset works like the duplicate tool, but places the duplicate objects with an offset as set. The feature can be used to create effects like drop shadows for lettering or other objects like steps. Mirror copy to work area is for copying the design and placing its mirror image in all corners of the work area. Define work area. Before you can create a design layout, you first need to define a work area corresponding to the item of fabric you intend to sew on. Work areas can be defined as rectangular or circular spaces. The software allows you to define a work area up to 3 meters by 3 meters. Auto Center to Work Area. As its name suggests, this tool helps in centering a design. If your embroidery is too large or contains a number of designs spaced around an object, you can use the multi-hooping toolbox to split it into multiple hoopings. Each one contains an object or group of objects that can be stitched out in a single hooping. These can be stitched consecutively to form the whole design. Add hoop right to place a new hoop position to right of the selected hoop. Remember to allow 10 mm overlap between sewing fields. Add hoop up to place a new hoop position above the selected hoop. Add 4 hoops around to create 4 hoop positions around a selected hoop's perimeter. Similarly, use Add 8 hoops around to create 8 hoop positions around a selected hoop's perimeter. Delete hoop is for deleting any unwanted hoop. Calculate hoopings is to evaluate the hoopings that will result from the current hoop layout. Bear in mind that a calculated hooping is not necessarily the same as a hoop position. Under Output Design, you can save your design under two formats, outline or stitch. EMB is the native outline format of the embroidery software. Other all-in-one design file formats such as JAN are also available. These formats allow for future editing. Use Export Design to export an Open Design to Stitch file format that can be used for embroidery. The software supports stitch formats such as JPX, GEF, SEW, DST, EXP, and many others. Send Design. There are certain models which can be connected to the laptop with the help of a USB cable. This feature is useful in sending the design directly to the machine. Write to Card USB writes the design directly to the USB key in .gef format. Print Preview lets you preview the design on the screen. Print Design helps in noting the exact layout and also helps in making templates for multi-hooping. Never mind if you cannot remember all the tools at once. You can always keep coming back to this video till you have mastered them all. We will now begin our first module now to take you through the basics of Digitizer Junior. It will help you get comfortable with the software. It also highlights some of the key special features of the software. We will begin by learning how to insert a design into the software. Click on Insert Design key here. A browsing window will appear for locating the design stored in your computer. Double-click on the selected design. The design will open in the software. See, it is so simple to import designs to the software. If you require detailed information about the design, click on the Design Information key. Complete information about the design can be viewed through the dialog box that appears on the screen. If you want to change the density of stitches in the design, select the Adjust Stitch Spacing key as shown. A dialog box will appear on the screen. If we reduce the percentage density, the number of stitches will increase. If the percentage density is increased, then the number of stitches will get reduced. The design can be resized by dragging the corner points. Place the cursor on the corner point. Press and hold the left mouse key and reposition it anywhere within the red border in the hoop. In case the design has to be placed in the center of the hoop, use the Auto Center tool. To modify the design, just right-click on the design. Next, select Ungroup from the drop-down. Once ungrouped, all parts of the embroidery can be selected separately. We will now delete the leaf and modify the design. Now select Auto Center to bring the design to the center of the hoop. For adding text in this embroidery, select the Lettering tool. An Object Property box will appear on the right of the screen. You can select to display the text in various styles from the icons below. We have chosen to display our text in a straight line. Type the desired text in the box. Now let's position it in the hoop area. To drag the text, place the cursor on the text and press and hold the left mouse key. You can now drag and position it at any desired place. You can change the font size by changing the figure in the font box. You can change the baseline of the text simply by clicking on the various icons. To display it as an arc or other available options. To change the color of the text, simply click on the color icons below. Once you have finished designing, select the complete design inside the hoop and press the right mouse key. Select the group from the drop-down to lock all elements of the designs together. Different fabrics require different stitch density settings. We can change the properties of the design to suit the fabric being used by selecting Auto Fabric. Clicking on Auto Fabric displays a box where you can see that the design is made for leather, suede fabric, It also shows the type of fusing that has to be used. You can change the type of fabric from the drop down here. The Auto Fabric box has a large selection of fabrics to choose from. Here, we have changed the fabric to pure cotton. Accordingly, the number of stitches will change. Look below. The footer displays 15,300 stitches now. Wasn't that easy? Having learnt the basics, now let's move on to the next module to help you understand the lettering and monogramming tools better. Module 2. Lettering and monogramming. This module will help you master the lettering and monogramming tools of the Digitizer Junior V5. Begin by clicking on the Lettering and Monogramming toolbox. The box will open to reveal two tools that are at your disposal. Clicking on the Lettering tool will open up an Object Property box on the right side of the screen. You can type the desired text in the box. Click here on Fonts to choose a font type you desire. There are lots of options to choose from. You can change the font size by increasing or decreasing the number displayed against the height box. The icons under Baseline allow you to change the baseline of the text, displaying it in various ways, from straight to arcs. The width of each letter can also be altered by changing the figure here. Similarly, you can choose to change the degree of the slant in the box below. Now let's try out these features. Type a few words on the text box. Now let's increase the font size by increasing the height. Select Auto Center from the left toolbar to center your text in the hoop. The fill type can be changed once the text has been typed. Just select the text and then select the fill type from the three available options: satin, tatami, embossed. Select Monogramming from the left toolbar. A monogramming box will appear. You can type 2 to 3 letters on the monogramming text box above. There are 23 presets for automatic alphabet placement. You can select from any of these and play with placement options to get the desired effect. Selecting Advanced Properties will open up a new Object Property box. You can use this option to change the fill types inside the letters. Module 3. Create Custom Embroidery. Here you will learn to make custom embroidery. But before we begin, a few do's and don'ts. Since Digitizer Junior is an object-based embroidery software, it requires well-defined objects as shown to make embroidery stitches like this blue star. Clear and closed outlines like this outline of a star also works. It is important that the outline is complete and closed. The software will not be able to make embroidery stitches if the outline is not closed like this, as seen here. One simple way to make custom embroidery is to trace the embroidery shapes or download an outline of an embroidery design. Ensure that the lines are clear and bold without any gaps or cuts. Also ensure that the thickness of the line remains same throughout. Now let's begin. Insert an image into the software by selecting Artwork key and then Insert Image. Ensure that the outline remains within the red border inside the hoop. Once an artwork is inserted, select it to activate the Prepare Artwork for Embroidery tool and click on the tool. A pop-up box will appear displaying two boxes displaying your artwork. The left box displays the original bitmap image with number of colors, while the right box displays the processed image with reduced number of colors. Notice that even after processing, the image still had 20 shades. The right color boxes display the shades of colors used in the image. Since this embroidery is only an outline, it should be processed as two colors. Example, the outline and the base color. Let's rectify this by choosing the Cartoon Processing option under the processed image. You will notice that the number of colors have reduced to 2. The slider next to the cartoon processing option can be used to adjust image contrast to make it clearer. Select OK once the image is satisfactory. Now select the image and move on to the Click to Center Line tool to make the lines finer. Click on the tool to open an Object Properties box offering 3 options: Single Run Stitch, Triple Run Stitch and Satin Stitch. Select Triple Stitch. Zoom in and select the black line of the artwork to digitize its lines. When a line is correctly selected, it will change its color to white. Select all lines one by one. Once all the lines are digitized, right-click on the white area of the artwork and click on Hide Selected from the drop-down. This will hide the image, displaying all the lines that have been digitized. Carefully check if all the lines have been digitized. After checking all the lines, right-click on the work area and select Unhide All to make the artwork visible again. Next, go to Auto Digitize and select Click to Fill tool. Fill all the enclosed areas with Weave Fill or Satin Fill as desired. You can see how nicely all the enclosed areas have been filled up with neat stitches. To change the color of the stitches, press Ctrl on your keyboard and select the objects where you want to change the color. And simply pick the desired color from the bottom. Color of all the selected objects will change. You can add multiple colors to your design like this. Once done, right-click on the image and click on Hide Selected. You can see the complete digitized design here. Well done! You have learned the core of Digitizer Junior. The next module will teach you to make line stitches with the software. Module 4. Creating line stitches. Lines of varying thickness are typically used to add borders, outlines and details to shapes. The Digitizer Junior provides you with the tools for creating outline stitching of varying thicknesses and styles. Let's learn how to use the software to create neat lines to enhance your designs. Begin by inserting an artwork with the Insert Artwork tool as shown. Hold the corner point and drag to increase the size of the image as required. Use the Auto Center tool in the Layout menu and press Enter on your computer keyboard to center the image inside the hoop. Use the Zoom In key to view the image closely. Select the artwork to activate the Prepare Artwork tool. Click on it and a pop-up box will appear displaying 2 boxes displaying your artwork. The left box displays the original bitmap image with number of colors, while the right box displays the processed image with reduced number of colors. Notice that even after processing, the image still had 18 shades. The right color boxes display the shades of colors used in the image. Since this embroidery is only an outline, it should be processed as 2 colors. Example, the outline and the base color. Let's rectify this by choosing the cartoon processing option under the processed image. You will notice that the number of colors have reduced to 2. The slider next to the cartoon processing option can be used to adjust image contrast to make it clearer. Select OK once the image is satisfactory. Now, select the image and move on to the Click to Center Line tool to make the lines finer. Click on the tool. To open an Object Properties box, select the Line tab and it will offer 3 options of Single Run Stitch, Triple Run Stitch and Satin Stitch. Choose the desired line option. Click on all the lines of the image one by one to digitize them. To check if all lines have been covered, select the image and right-click your mouse. Click on Hide Image from the drop-down to make visible all digitized lines. You can improvise your design by selecting different lines and changing their stitches between single run, triple run and satin stitch. Satin lines can be made thinner or thicker by changing the width settings below as shown here. Module 5. Duplicate with an offset. In this module, you will learn how to duplicate a design and also how to do so with an offset. Use the Insert Design tool to add a design. This particular design has 3,984 stitches as seen below. Select the design and click on the Duplicate tool. The design will be duplicated just over the old design. Notice that the number of stitches have doubled to 7,958 stitches. Left-click on the design, hold and drag the design to move it to a desired position. When you click the Duplicate with Offset tool, the design gets duplicated with a slight offset. You can experiment with the lines and change the stitch type. This technique is better as the duplicate is easily visible. You can also clone the design. For cloning, right-click on the design and drag it to the place where you want it to appear next. Release the right-click once you have correctly placed the design. To duplicate the clone, select Duplicate with Offset as many times as required. The design will be duplicated with the same offset. Get creative with clones and offsets to create beautiful patterns. Layout making mirror to corners. While making embroideries, it is important to align the elements perfectly along the corners of the rectangles, squares, or edges of the circle. We will learn how to do this easily with our Digitizer Junior. Click on the Layout tool and select Define Work Area. A pop-up box will appear with the option of shape and size. Here, you can choose between a square or a rectangle and a circle. Let's fix the size equal to the hoop size of MC450E, that is 200 mm by 280 mm. You can also choose the color of the work area for convenience. Once done, click on OK. Clicking on Show on the top toolbar will release a drop-down. Click on Work Area if the work area is not automatically visible. Observe that the defined work area is highlighted in red color we had previously chosen. Import a design into the work area using the Insert Design tool as shown. Resize the design to suit your requirement and place it carefully in one corner. Zoom in to check and position the design properly. If you find it hard to adjust the position with your mouse, you can also use the arrow keys on your keyboard. Once the design is placed correctly at the corner, click on the Mirror Copy to Work Area Corners and press Enter on your keyboard. The design will get mirrored and will be placed on all corners of the defined work area. You have picked up quite a few Digitizer Junior skills by now. Remember, the more you use these tools, the better you will get, so keep practicing. Next, we have 2 great workshops for you, one on Applique and the other on how to edit an existing design. We will begin with the Applique workshop. Applique is an ornamental needlework in which pieces of fabric are sewn or stuck on to a larger piece to create a design or pattern. It is a complicated manual process which requires skill and time. You can now easily make appliques using the digitizing software. Begin by importing the desired image from your computer using the Artwork tab. You can thereafter resize the image by dragging the corner point. Once done, select Auto Center to Work Area to center the design. Next, you need to prepare the artwork for embroidery by selecting the namesake key from the Artwork menu. Note that this key will only be activated once the image is selected. A pop-up box will appear displaying two boxes displaying your artwork. The left box displays the original bitmap image with number of colors, while the right box displays the processed image with reduced number of colors. Notice that even after processing, the image still had 18 shades. The right color boxes display the shades of colors used in the image. Since this embroidery is only an outline, it should be processed as two colors. Example, the outline and the base color. Let's rectify this by choosing the cartoon processing option under the processed image. You will notice that the number of colors have reduced to 2. The slider next to the cartoon processing option can be used to adjust image contrast to make it clearer. Click OK once the image is satisfactory. Select your design and use the click to center line key for making fine lines. Next, click on the Object Property box under Edit Objects. A pop-up box will give you 3 options: Single Run Stitch, Triple Run Stitch and Satin Stitch. Select Single Run. Select the black line of artwork to digitize the line. When the line is correctly selected, it will change color to white. Once the line is digitized, press Escape on the keyboard twice to exit the Click to Centerline menu. Now, right-click on the artwork area and choose Hide Selected. The image will be hidden, revealing only the digitized lines. Zoom in to ensure that all the lines have been digitized. Select the Resequence key to open the Resequence menu. In the Resequence menu, the first box displays the hidden image and the second, the digitized heart. Select the second box with the digitized heart and click the duplicate key from the Layout menu thrice. Once 3 additional stitched hearts appear, select Object Properties under Edit Objects. The Object Property box will appear, displaying all the stitches that can be used. We will now start with the steps of creating all the stitches required to make an applique. Remember, first step is for showing where to place the applique fabric on the base fabric. This stitch will be a straight stitch. Second step is to fix the applique cloth on the base fabric. This stitch will also remain a straight stitch. Third step will have a zigzag stitch, which will hold the applique fabric firmly on the base fabric. Finally, a cover stitch, satin stitch, will be placed to give the applique a neat finish. Then, select the Stitching tab and deselect the Underlay checkbox. Under Stitch Settings, select Manual Spacing. Change the stitch space from 0.36 mm to 3.0 mm and select Enter. A zigzag line will be created. Select the fourth box and change stitch type to satin. We have now created the 4 different stitch types on the outline. We will require the machine to stop after making each line. So, select one box at a time and give each stitch a different color. as the machine will stop after every color change. Note, the applique will be made with only one thread color. The change color command is only to stop the machine between two types of stitches. Press the Control key on the keyboard and select all the boxes of stitch types one after the other. Place the cursor on any box and right-click on the mouse and select Group to freeze the stitches together. An icon will appear against each box to indicate that the stitches are grouped. Grouping ensures that all the stitches are similarly positioned. To save the applique design, select Export Design under Output Design. Save the design on your desktop in GIF format. In this tutorial, you will learn how to create new embroideries using elements from existing designs or patterns you may have purchased. You can use designs with either .gif or .emb formats. EMB formats are ideal as this format saves the design as objects, which can be easily edited. Before we begin, we need to set the software settings. Select Embroidery Setting under Software Setting. Choose Convert Stitches into Object Shapes on the pop-up box. Click OK. Insert the design or designs that you want to edit using the Insert Design tool. Here we will attempt to create a new design using the flower from one existing design and the stem from another. First, ungroup the design by right-clicking the mouse on the first design and select Ungroup. Parts of the design get broken into smaller objects. Press and hold the left mouse key and drag to make a box around the flower, like this. The flower gets selected. To copy the flower, place the cursor on it. Right-click, hold and drag. Drag the duplicated flower to the desired place. Check carefully for any extra stitches that may have been duplicated. If any, select and delete them. Similarly, choose the parts of the next design you want to use. Here, we are using the stem from the second design. You can use the zoom key to work on the parts better. After carefully deleting the extra stitches, select the complete stem. Right-click. Select Group to lock all the stitches together. You can rotate the design using the Rotate icon on the top menu bar. Drag and position the two designs together. Select the entire design and right-click and group them together. Well done! You have learnt all the tools to use your Digitizer Junior software effectively. With practice, you will keep getting better. Get creative and try out new embroidery designs. Happy sewing!